And so I promised the reveal. The second thing I bought at Costco. Well, it's a food item, so let's start by preparing it. First, go to the garden and collect some herbs, which you then chop up until they're turned into a choppy mess like this. Afterwards, add some olive oil. We're going to chop this up some more to make it into a bit of a paste. And now for the big reveal. Yes, it's lamb chops, imported straight from Australia. Little tiny things. But they're gonna be good once they have all this goo put on them. And later, they're gonna be cooked. Okay, well, it's like almost on the same weekend. We've had 2 ApplePay scores. Today, it's Fuddruckers, which means good hamburgers, and ApplePay.
Push it all the way down.
I'm trying something new today. I've been trying to streamline my podcast system, and what we do is we record the podcast at my end, and we record the podcast at the end of the other person on the Skype call. That way we get 2 local recordings. Now my recording splits mine and theirs into 2 sides of an stereo recording. And so I can match their side up with their side on my recording and then eliminate my side, which is more distorted and has the Skype problems in it. And then I would typically put it into Audacity, where I would do some cleanup. Normally I would do the synchronization in there, and then I would clean up the low-level audio, and then I would compress out the extra space, which makes us sound a little bit less likely to have pauses between our words like that. So you would come out sounding like you said, less likely to have pauses between words. It makes you sound a lot better. I wish I could do it with video. And then upon exporting it from Audacity, which is great for those features but sucks as an editor because it's so kludgy and awful, and then I would pull it into Logic Pro and combine it with a template with the opening and closing credits and bring the tracks in and then do the actual trimming of the sound, coughs and flubs and whatnot. But what's getting increasingly more difficult for me is that Logic Pro and Final Cut Pro don't use the same shuttle control. So in Logic, your space bar to play and Apple T to trim, and then of course you've got it has the equivalent of a shuffle left. So you cut it and you delete a piece, and it sucks up the gap, which is good. But then Final Cut does that as well, and of course I'm using Final Cut every day on this vlog, and it has shuttle controls like you would on a proper video editor. So you can, fast forward, backwards, reverse, stop, and it's a 3-key finger. It's on the JKL keys here, and you would, frankly, I can listen to it at double speed if it were allowed. So this time I tried combining the pieces in Final Cut Pro. Now Final Cut has that amazing audio synchronization tool, so I just threw the pieces in there and said synchronizes. Does a great job. Then I drop out the channel that is my recording of it, and then edited it at double speed. So that sped things up considerably. So I did that first, then I dropped it into Audacity, and just used that to compress out the space. And in this case, an hour and 14-minute podcast is compressed to an hour and 11 minutes, which is still a long podcast, but it's shorter, and it has fewer pauses in it. And now I'm just going to pop it into Logic Pro and put the titles on it and make the final output, and then I will be all done. Yes, they look great, but the measure of food is not in how it looks, but how it tastes. And it tastes pretty darn good.
Lamb chop.
All in all, it wasn't too bad of a day, although many potential activities that we might have had in mind may have been curtailed because some people call this a holiday. It's known as Easter, I'm told. I wanted not to go to Fuddruckers at lunch. I wanted to go to Chompy's, New York style Jewish deli, because eating Jewish food on Easter just amuses the hell out of me. But we didn't do that. Anyway, if you want to, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.